What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? Rich Trapper tapping in, TNN Trap News Network, back in this thing, like, cook, crack in this thing, back in this thing, like, cook, crack in this thing, man. Hit the like, hit the comment, hit the good subscribe button, everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that good news you can use, that good knowledge you ain't finna get nobody's college, big dog. Tap in with the tap in to make sure you are, in fact, tapped in with that good tap in with everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that good news you can use. It's that good knowledge you ain't finna get nobody's college, big dog. Tap in with that tap in to make sure you are, in fact, tapped in with that good tap in. Notification bell hit, all say tapped in. Say tapped in, tapped in for the like, comment, subscribe button. Notification bell hit, all say tapped in for the latest and the greatest. What we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network, we would love for you to become a part of this Trap News Network correspondent team. Hit us up on Instagram, TRAPNEWS, Trap News Network. If you would like to be a part of this rich Trapper Mafia, you would like to be a Trap News Network correspondent, please hit us up on Instagram. Please hit us up on Instagram. For more news we can use, for more knowledge you ain't finna get in nobody's college. Tap in with that tap in to make sure you are, in fact, tapped in with that good tap in. You feel me? Hit that notification bell, hit all say tapped in for the latest and the greatest. And hit that description, hit the petition, support the deport. Let's get pathetic fatso out of these greater United States, man. So get into that if you ain't got it tonight. We finna jump into this content, man. We finna slide over here and get some information about what's going on with the inner workings of the Mexican Mafia. We going that route. Let's jump into this content without further ado, adults, man. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Episode of the Mob Spot. We're going to spice this up for you a little bit. We found a segment in this hotel meeting that talks about the establishment of a commission. With that said, Ramon, tell me about your day of what the commission was.
Okay, it's funny how history repeats itself, and we talk about how gangs copy and paste from other gangs. When you use the word commission, what do you think of? You think of the Italian mob, correct?
Yes.
So Mexican Mafia, what did they do? They incorporated mafia in the term Mexican Mafia. The Black Hand, you had that tattoo on your body. A lot of lingo that was incorporated from the Italian mob into the prison Mexican Mafia gang that we were part of. Okay, including this idea, this notion of initiating a commission. In about 1973, I recall the dudes from Folsom sent word to San Quentin that we were going to initiate a commission with capos. Where does that term come from, right? From the Italian mob. Mm-hmm. With capos and, vice, whatever. I was locked up in B section. And I got the word from the guy. Güero Shai was there, Mo Farrell. A lot of the guys were on the yard. Davey from San Francisco. A lot of the brothers that were out there were talking about this commission. And I figured, okay, well, they're going to toy with it. I want to see how this is received in San Quentin. Because our way of thinking back then, and it was always played out this way. So the way things were handled, Folsom, because they had a lot of the senior members, would send their ideas to San Quentin. So the word that was received is that we were going to start this capo system. And we kind of laughed about it in B section and said, well, we'll see how long this lasts. It didn't last but a few days. Everybody started joking and teasing Mo and Güero Shai. Yeah, you guys are not going to be you're not going to be no boss of boss or none of this. So everybody blew it off. That was the state. That was back in the early 70s. Mm-hmm. Okay, you fast forward now to the late 70s. A lot of the members started performing bank robberies on the streets. A lot of them picked up federal cases. They were in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and they began their commission in the feds. And this was a true commission. And the five members that I recall that were in that commission, and it's varied, were actually co-defendants in the murder of Hapo Trejo. They killed Hapo Trejo in Lompoc in 1978, I believe, or 78 or 79, and they were convicted. It was Black Bobby Ramirez, Willie Bobo from Redondo, Champ Reynoso from Big Hazard, Black Segura from Clover, and all these guys became part of that first commission. So that commission became, and to this day, I believe it still exists, unless they did away with it, which I doubt. I think Rube at one point was part of the commission when Negro Villalba, I think, assaulted him over a dispute over drugs in one of the federal prisons. That's what got him in trouble.
Yeah, he was a commissioner.
Yeah, he laid a hand on a commissioner. And so the Aryan Brotherhood, they established a commission. It's very similar. Aryan Brotherhood, the criminal relationship with the Aryan Brotherhood that began in the 60s in the California prison system was almost a copy and paste job of the Mexican Mafia, but the white version, you know. And they were a mirror image of the fellas. Now we fast forward to this commission that's taking place today. What do you know about that, Rene?
Yeah, they have a mesa in Department of Corrections. The California faction has a mesa. And I always knew the commission to be Bobo, Black, and Chambrenoso, right? And the AB commission was called the TIP. They called it the TIP. I remember hearing a couple of them speak about it. And council, they called it council as well.
At Barry Mills.
Yeah, all those old guys. And so they've always existed. And what you're going to see here is the concept of creating another commission among these members in this meeting. But yeah, that some of the concepts you see in these meetings are in existence today. Program, commission, mesas, all those things are being implemented, and they're still like we said earlier. This is the genesis of the organization as a syndicate rather than a prison gang. It's transcending that prison gang stereotypical image that it had.
It's also a stark demonstration of something that I always say is the inside controls the outside. This type of structure actually begins inside in the prison system, and they can adhere to this a lot easier in there. It's a lot more structured. And then when they
Now, this is going to get tricky, sticky, icky, Mickey, Vicky, man. They're getting deeper into the politics, but so far, it's interesting to see that the whole concept of the Mexican Mafia was at first laughed at. The whole concept, wasn't really widely accepted too much by their fraternity. A couple dudes was like, yeah, but no. It wasn't until it kind of got brought to a federal system to where it started being taken a lot more serious. You have dudes, like you said, committing bank robberies and committing more federal crimes that sends them to a higher level penitentiary versus the state level versus, a federal level and all that. Being locked up with people who are just from your state versus being locked up with people from the entire country is definitely a huge level of difference. And it creates different connections, and it definitely creates a different power structure and a different tier system as far as left, right, up, down, 1-2 steps like Sierra is concerned. With that all being said, you have to always consider the fact that these dudes are extremely, extremely militant and above all, extremely dangerous as they're doing whatever it is that they're doing. So you should kind of sit back, relax, and learn a little bit more about this system, but let's go ahead and jump back into it.
Streets, as was done successfully in the implementation of the program on the street, it becomes a lot more dangerous. But here we go.
Without further ado, we're going to run the video, and you're going to hear him get right into it. Same players as before. I'll point them out real quick.
I'm just going to throw this out there, como la miran ustedes, but you need a commission out here, and I think you need that out here.
But don't you think that's going to start a chain of command?
Yeah.
Well, mira, Chuco.
Somebody's got to drive the car.
No, it's but we start putting,
That is Raymond Shoryak exiting the room. That again is Pelon, China Boy Arias, Victorio Murillo, Sammy Villalba, Carlitos from Lomas, Perico's over here in the corner with Perico from Norwalk, Perico from Flats and Perico from Norwalk, Gibby from Redlands, Randy Therian here, who's obscured by the light, and Tonito from Sereno over here.
over others.
Are you going to put it until you're there?
I say, hey, wait a minute, you're not better than me.
I don't think that's what he's talking about. I don't think that's what the brother's trying to
Let me say something. When I say a commission, I mean, those that have been around a while, we know about commissions and
I know it happened in Folsom.
Yeah, and all the, you know, and what you're talking about.
You were there in the mainland when it happened.
And what you're talking about, so we know that. But
Vito Kilroy started that.
we keep trying to perfect things, ¿verdad? And as far
So they're talking about a commission that was established in 1985 when I was there. Sammy Villalba was part of it. And it was started by Bebito and Kilroy. They started the commission in Folsom. It was disbanded soon thereafter because Bebito and Kilroy began politicking. And Victorio's talking about the federal commission. He was a federal brother, so he knew exactly what a commission was, and he's trying to explain that to the other brothers who are opposed to that.
Yeah.
Part of the scary part about having a commission is that people have authority over you, and they have power of life and death over you. And that's what I think most of these cardenales fear, is to releasing their autonomy to somebody who can have them killed.
It flies against the face of why and how the Mexican Mafia was established. When Güero Buff came up with that original concept, and he had the 15 to 20 members initially that agreed, he in his wisdom, I think you observed that earlier some years ago. In his wisdom, he did not appoint himself the Godfather or the Mero Chingon or nothing, because he knew all these guys are leaders of their own street gangs. That's who they recruited, the worst of the worst. Nobody is going to submit to somebody else's authority. They had extreme arrogance. The way they comported themselves, they were not going to listen to anybody. So this was an ideal way of proceeding. From this group emerges guys that do have more influence. The Joe Morgans of the world, the Kilroys, the Chuy Martinez. I can go on and on. You can go on and on.
well, then we're going to have, like, I think you use the word chain of command and stuff like that. You know, in este cuarto aquí, there has to be people that everybody respects. Exactly. You know, I mean, we've never had like generals and stuff like that. You know, we've never had stuff like that. The people that we call our general are the people that we have that respect for.
Exactly.
So all I'm just trying to say is that I mean, if somebody doesn't drive the car, we're not going to get nowhere.
You know what? Can I say something? How about if we bring like a cool camarada we can trust that is a businessman, and bring him to guide the money where it's going, but we guide, we determine where it goes, so that way nobody gets big-headed here, you know? Yeah, they got
I tell you something. You lay money on somebody else.
financial, what do you call it?
No, but I'm talking about like a financial person.
Brother, I don't care how much you trust a person. You lay.
That's Carly.
Now, the concept of these gentlemen starting this commission is actually a pretty ingenious thing. The commission kind of ensures that no one man has any more power over another man, because like you heard them say, nobody wants to give another man power over his life, over his liberties, over his freedoms, over his thoughts, over his movements, and above all, over his neighborhood. So instead of making one person above everybody, you have a representative from every neighborhood, and they all come to the table and they all tell their parts, they all do their due diligence. And then off of that, hierarchy and structure will be, you know, naturally will come into place, and everybody will kind of naturally fall into leadership roles and so forth and so on. You hear them discussing everything about treasury, as far as, you know, being able to save money, make money, spend money, account for money, and all that kind of stuff. And then one thing was said was like, you know, something. Don't let nobody get too big-headed. Don't let nobody get too cocky. Don't let nobody get too arrogant. Don't let nobody get too ahead of themselves in this situation. And basically, you know, don't be the reason. No one man's bigger than the program. So I could definitely see their reasoning for structures. I could definitely see their reasoning for, you know, trying to put this together in a more, quote, professional way. And again, too, to even be able to see this behind-the-scenes footage and get these videos from these meetings in these hotel rooms is incredible, because I'm sure whoever made this video is no longer with us, because it ain't no way we just want to see this. But regardless of the fact, we finna jump back into this content now. Let's get back into it. Let's go.
Consigliere and financial advisor, which I think is totally boneheaded. You don't give people your money. particularly, somebody that's not a carnal. I wouldn't even give a carnal my money.
Who's the one talking about somebody's got to drive the car?
That's Victorio Murillo right here.
Uh-huh.
Victorio's, it said it point blank, somebody's got to drive the car or we're not going to get nowhere. And I think he made a sound point.
Yeah.
He said that in this room, there has to be people in here that we respect.
Right.
And those are the leaders. Like,
Right.
the leaders emerge already. I see the three leaders in this room already. It's Victorio Murillo, Shai Shrayak, and Chuco Castro.
Right.
Those are the three dominant personalities. And in any room, you can walk into any room, and somebody's going to be sharper dressed. They're going to be more articulate. They're going to be handsome. They're going to have baggage. They're going to have
You call it command presence.
command presence.
Yeah.
It's command presence. You're going to see those guys. Right. You can go in a room of 1,000 individuals. You're going to see one guy who's wearing Hugo Boss or Armani, or one woman that stands out like she is alpha or he's alpha. And you see that. It exudes from people's pores, right?
And the key is that they're not going to demand deference, but they will command it.
They will command it.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what Victorio's talking about.
Somebody has control.
That's what
We've always, as far as somebody driving the car and getting out of line, I mean, we've always had our ways of taking care of that. I gente that have tried to run something and they did. So I respect that myself.
For as long as I've been a carnal, we've always had this thing where nobody runs nothing and nobody's going to tell me what to do. We're all equal, and we all know that's bullshit. Because some carnales get looked up to more than others. Some carnales think better than others. And some carnales have better leadership. It's just simple. It's reality. I don't mind listening to somebody. If they can make better sense than me, then hey, I'm ready to listen, man.
Shai said exactly what we've been saying.
Yeah.
Some carnales are more equal than others. It's an egalitarian system, right?
Sure.
It's direct democracy, one man, one vote, majority rules.
It's like in anything in life. You pick a jury, right? Mm-hmm. One of the jurors emerges as the foreman. Mm-hmm. Okay, they defer. Mm-hmm. A task force, a law enforcement task force. You get somebody that a couple of alphas that everybody defers to. So that same concept.
Yeah.
So we need to stop all that. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. Blah blah blah. I'm just as good as you are and all that. We need to come down off that little shit right there because.
we gotta have trust in all of us, so we might as well pick one of us, and if that's the case.
Commissions do work though if you let them work.
These are my thoughts right here. This might be a bunch of bullshit. For everybody, this is what I think before everybody leaves here. I think everybody has to think that all of us have to be a backbone of this idea that it's going to leave here today.
That is Randy Therian speaking here, a cowboy from Bassett.
But all of us here, myself, everybody that's in the room, has to be a financial background to what this idea that's going to leave here today, like this court money. All of us here has to contribute something to make this idea come true, before we leave this room here.
Someone
let it take place, man. Right? Instead of just throwing a bunch of wind around here. All of us has to leave here thinking that we got to come back next time when we get together. We have capital, we have backbone that we're going to put in this thing that we thought about last week.
Yeah, but at the same time, what if we leave here and only 5 of us do something about it? Then those 5 will benefit from it.
Someone's going to kick in the ass. All of us got to put this thing. We all stuck our necks in the sand to become the enemy. Now all of us have to be doing something about it now.
I'm not trying to say anything wrong, brothers, but the people that are going to become somebody are the ones that are going to work together.
That's right.
And those people that are going to do that, those people aren't going to be worried about what others are going to think about them. That's all I'm trying to say.
There should be no negative thoughts about
That's
any of us.
all I'm trying to say right there is that there's gonna be people getting together, and that's the only way we're gonna rise.
Yeah, what about the juntas? Should we start having her every 2 weeks instead of a month?
We ought to have one in about a week and see, so we can go from there.
All right.
Everybody can start
Next-
think about it. And
next week, isn't it?
have one. And will they make a final decision? Get on.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah, that sounds good.
Start
Go
making
ahead.
a kitty
Where
too when we
Carlito wants to say
come.
something?
Even if it ain't for
I'm
the
all
sports
for it.
bar. For Carlito steps
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Yo, I've been saying that.
So you hear him discussing this. Victorio, he emerges as the voice of reason here. He's been through it all. He has a successful business. He's been under the rule of a commission. He's cooperated with commissions before. And he's saying it just like it is. Like, the people are going to succeed are the Cardenales that work towards a common goal, right?
Right.
And you hear him rescheduling the next meeting. They want to come to some resolution and some firm agreement on it.
Right.
Another thing about the commission, next week también, we'll go back, we'll think about it, and then when we come back next week, we'll vote
Well, it's kind of
if you want it or not.
It's kind of what exactly are we talking about right now? You know, if we can at least take one thing and make something out of it. I mean, we don't have too much to make something out of it. You know.
When he says that.
But like I said, you know, I was just, lo que yo estaba diciendo que han hecho los carnales con los barrios, eso es algo.
Yeah.
You know, and if the brothers took just that right now and smooth that out, that's a lot of progress. You know, before anything else.
Excuse me, are you talking about a commission for the carnales or a commission for the barrios?
No, and one for us.
For us,
Yeah,
out of
just
pick some people
that-
out of us to commit. What do you mean by commit? So I don't really understand. You mean like a group of people to decide, you know, where we're going and make decisions for us? I just don't understand.
A commission, carnal, the way I understand it is people that well, the idea of a commission is you know, when there's squabbles, you know, you bring them to the commission and it's squashed there. You know, things like that. If there's
That's what we
squabbles
wanted
going
to
on.
do with the green lights, huh?
Yeah.
If there's squabbles going on, that's what the commission's for. The commission is there for all things like that. I mean, you know, if two guys got something going on the side, it's a lot better if they take care of it themselves before you bring something like this, you know?
Yeah, let me explain a little further. You remember when we first started that commission back in 1972? The Vivato started it in Folsom, and then we sent the word down and we started it and quit. And it didn't work out, but the commission would, just like he said, if there was problems amongst, say, a couple of carnales were having a conflict, they would go to the commission would make a decision on it. All the like if there was somebody that won't be put on the lista, the commission made the final decision. What else did they do?
Rules, regs.
No, we've already got those.
It's just, you know, basically.
It didn't work out too well because there was too many egos involved. That's why it didn't work out.
Well, it won't work out here either if you don't respect it. No, I'm not saying to do it.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
I'm not saying to
I'm
do
just,
it.
I'm trying to help these battles who don't know what the commission
I'm not
is
saying
about
to do it,
to understand it.
but
a
I
little
know
more.
that, you know, if we're gonna go anywhere, I mean, the idea is to go together, you know?
Yeah. That's what they're about. That's what we're always supposed to be doing things together. You know?
Hey, excuse me. The first thing that's most important is to build a foundation. And the foundations.
So there you have it, folks. You hear him talking about the commission. They're going to come back next week. They get in depth on it. Shai was part of a commission. Victoria was under commission. Some of the carnales there, Sammy Vialba was part of the commission in Folsom. He has experience with the commission. I had experience with the commission. And we recognize them as commissioners.
Yeah.
I mean, Sammy ultimately met his demise because he struck a commissioner, Rube Soto, and while he was at
One of the federal penitentiaries.
Victorville, USP Victorville, he struck Rube salt on the face. And we'll be getting to that in the future. We have some exclusive video for you to see. But that'll wrap up this episode on the commission. We wanted you to see that these are progressive thinkers. I mean, there's some
Hey, man, that one got deep. That one got deep, man. But if you want to see more of this type of, you know, kind of like criminal underworld type content, let me know something in the comments, man. We are trying to figure out other ways to bring y'all news y'all can use, and knowledge y'all can't get in college outside of the messiness that we give y'all, but we're going to keep giving y'all the messiness. Trying to see about these conspiracy theory videos. Now we get into these deeper criminal syndicate videos. You know, giving these niggas some more stuff to copy. You feel me? Now I will say this to my fellow content creators, bro. Pick a lane, that's not my lane, and let me have this one. You feel me? The criminal underworld and all that kind of stuff. Y'all too busy chasing Adam 22 and following drama and all that. Keep doing that, bro. Keep doing that. Don't come over here switching up while I'm switching up. You feel me? Don't come over here switching up while I'm switching up. Do you. Do you. Y'all don't got to continue to copy every single thing that I do in these YouTube streets. It is all right to be yourself, big dog. You not got to try to be Rich Trapper. So with that all being said, I'm going to continue to give y'all this good news y'all can use. I'm going to continue to give y'all this good knowledge. You ain't finna get nobody's college. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all comment, make sure y'all subscribe. And we up out of here for more of this content that we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. We signing out, man. We are gone.